We're going to turn out to be not so great. Okay, let's talk about the Great Depression. First of all, who's the President of the United States that is going to be responsible for this mess? Herbert Hoover. Very good. Now, the reason you have a depression is people kind of overextend their means. What I mean by that is during the decade of the 1920s, Americans made pretty good money early, and when you make good money, what do? Spend good money. And you know, early in the decade, millions of workers were receiving high wages. Businesses were making really good profits. Americans took their extra money and invested it where? The stock market, hoping to make big profits, which they did for a period of time. The idea behind the stock market, and I'm such a chicken, I just never will go that route, I just don't understand it enough, is you buy shares of something with the idea that they're going to go up. If they go up, you make money. Then you have to decide when you want to sell. If you sell too soon, you could have made more money. If you don't sell, that all of a sudden pummels, then you lose money. So it's really it's a gamble. It really is a gamble. But Americans had extra money early in the 1920s. They invested their money in the stock market. They're hoping to make really big profits. And to be honest with you, early in the 1920s, people were doing really well in that endeavor. And that's all great and fun as long as the market holds. Well, even as late as 1929, late in 1929, stock market prices were at their highest levels. Even late in the year of 1929, stock market prices were at their highest levels. Well, on October 24th of 1929, it all came crashing down. On October 24th of 1929, it all came crashing down. What causes a stock market crash? Think about this a little bit. When do you make the most money? How about the riverboat trader that John Geyser paid money to take him to Vicksburg? Why was he making such good money? Why was Lester Bedell making such good money? What's that? And what happens during wartime? You have a what? You have a shortage or a demand for things. So if you, I guess the best way economically, if you have less goods being produced and they're more in need, they're worth more, right? So if everybody in here wants to buy the next Pokemon card and there's one left in the world, or you think you're going to pay less or more for that if there's only one left? You're going to pay more, right? Well, what happened that caused this great crash is the United States were producing more goods than could be produce more goods we produce more goods than could be what? Sold. Okay? So if you have too many of things, just like I went to the Washington Nationals baseball game while we were in D.C., and their jerseys were $150, authentic jerseys, and then $50 to put your name on it. I said, I'm not paying that. The guy said, I got a deal for you. If you buy these red jerseys, they're $100, and we won't charge you to put your name on the back. Why would he do that? Did he like me? I mean, first time I met him, he said, that's a hell of a guy, I'll make him a deal.
No.
What was the problem? Too many red jerseys, okay? And the same thing here. In the United States, we were producing more goods that couldn't be sold. Now, when you invest your money in the stock market and there's more being produced than can be sold, you have a crash. And that's what happened. So these stocks they bought crashed. Matter of fact, prices sank to an all-time low. And by mid-November, from October 24th to November 15th, the average value of all stocks in the stock market had been cut in half. So if you invested $100,000 in the stock market, how much was it worth in mid-November? $50,000. That's a pretty good hit. Well, they estimated that all of the stockholders across the United States from October 24th, 1929 to November 15th, 1929, lost $30 billion.
Holy crap.
30 billion. That's how bad the stock market crash was. Yep. Between October 24th, 1929 and November 15th, 1929, in about a 3-week period of time, they stated that the value of the stock market had been cut in half, and stockholders across the United States had lost $30 billion.
Is that accounting for inflation?
No, that was 30 billion then.
Okay.
Yeah, 30 billion then. So what's the result of that? What's the first thing that closes down in a situation like that? Banks. So banks all across the United States start closing their doors. If banks close their doors, what's the next thing that closes their doors? Well, not yet, because business has got to get their product from someplace.
So factories.
Factories, very good, factories. Because the nation had more supply than demand. So the banks closed down, then the factories closed down, then Hunter, what closes down? Businesses close their doors. No customers are coming in to purchase their items. And they're not going to get any items because the factories closed down, and the factories closed down because the banks had no more money to give them. So what else? What transportation organization comes to a halt when no factories are running? Railroads. So the railroads shut down as well because they had no products to transport from the factories to the businesses. So the banks closed down. As a result of that, the factories closed down because there was more supply than demand. Because of that, the businesses closed down. And because of that, the railroads shut down. So it was a domino effect.
How long did that process take?
Not very long, actually. Now, what becomes a problem when the banks close down, the factories close down, the businesses close down, and the railroads close down? What's your big problem?
People have,
Say it.
they're poor and broke
And they don't have any
money.
or
Food.
jobs.
Oh.
So unemployment became a major, major problem in the United States. And it helps this process of shutting down these factories and businesses, because does unemployment mean fewer customers? Are fewer people going to go buy something if they're unemployed? Does fewer customers mean less production? Less production means more unemployment. It's just a vicious circle. They estimated as a result of the stock market crash in 1929, about 650,000 Americans became unemployed. That's a lot of people at that time in history. 650,000 Americans became unemployed. That was by the end of 1929. By 1932, 3 years later, that number rose from 650,000 to 12 million. In a 3-year period after the stock market crash, from 1929 to 1932, the unemployment rate rose from 650,000 Americans unemployed to over 12 billion. Now, when you think about historical economists, they state there are 3 reasons that there was a Great Depression. Historical economists state 3 reasons for the Great Depression. One was America's high tariff policies after World War I. America's high tariff policies after World War I. What's a tariff again? Tax. Well, who were we taxing that hurt us? That's right, foreign countries. And if you tax people too much, if you tax foreign countries too much, did you watch that?
Yeah, I watched that.
If you tax foreign countries too much, they're not going to do what? Buy. And so all these things you're producing in the factories are not getting bought, which causes more supply than demand. So that's one reason why historical economists believed there was a Great Depression, that our high tax policies or tariff policies after World War I, where we taxed foreign countries so much they wouldn't even purchase any goods from us anymore, caused the United States to have more supply than demand. Now, this is kind of, I'm trying to explain this to you. You know what's kind of really bad in our country? What causes economic issues in this country among individuals? Well, you always see ads on TV to solve this problem. You just call us, 1-800-we'll-get-your-butt-out-of-debt.com. But what part of debt? What do people do that gets them really in trouble? I'm telling you guys, don't get one of these. Credit cards.
I have one.
Yeah, be careful.
Well, I have a good one. I
Be
manage
careful,
money
because
well.
the second reason that we had a Great Depression is people actually borrowed money to invest in the stock market. Why would you do that? Because you thought you could make money. Gee, I'll borrow $10,000 to put in the stock market. I'll buy these stocks. Wow, they'll rise and they'll be worth $50,000. I'll pay back my $10,000, make $40,000. Well, these people that borrowed to invest in the stock market, when the stock market went, these markers came up. Hey, I want my $10,000 back. Well, I don't have it. Well, I want, so there you go. When the stock market crashed, not only did people lose the money that they put in the stock market, but the lending institutions lost as well, because do you think those people paid those loans back? No. So the second reason why we had a Great Depression is people were so enamored with this stock market and how much money they could make on it, they borrowed money to invest in it. It's kind of like the credit card situation. It's pretty easy to go buy that dress you like or that gun you like or whatever you like. Okay? If you just put it on the credit card, I'll worry about it later. Pretty soon that $500 you owe on your credit card becomes $1,000. Next thing you know, you're maxed out at $5, and you go into the store and try to use it, and what happens? It's declined. It's embarrassing. So don't do that. Early in my career, my wife and I, we taught in schools. My wife stayed home with the kids, and I taught. We were so poor. I thought, I'll just get a credit card. That'll save all my problems. Not really. Gotta be careful. Okay. Now, the third reason that historical economists believe there was a Great Depression is there was so much easy money to be made prior to the crash. And we talked about it before. If you make easy money, what do you do instead of save? Spend. People are horrible about that right now. I'm kind of bad too. I was so poor in my early years of education, there's not much I go without. Drives my wife a little crazy, but it's true. Okay, if I want something, I go buy it. I really should probably be saving more money. You never know at my age. Well, my age, seriously.
Yeah,
my age,
your age. Just go and do what you want.
Yeah, well, that's true. But what if I broke my leg and couldn't come to work for 6 months and I ran out of sick leave? You know what I mean? We don't. And you're right. I should think more about that. Now I'm a little better. I have money I invested in retirement and 403bs and stuff. So, I'll be okay. But a lot of people at the time, since money was so easy, they went and bought that four-wheeler. Not dead. Or they went and bought that Harley Davidson, not dead, but bought things like that and didn't save. Okay, and because of that, when the stock market hit and all this depression started, nobody had any money in savings to hold them over, and everybody was broke. So those are the three reasons why we had the Great Depression, according to economic gurus that studied history. Now, who do you think was held responsible for the Great Depression?
Hoover.
Yep. Unfortunately, President Herbert Hoover. And it was really kind of sad, kids, because he really did not have a lot to do with all that. But he took the blame and goes down in history as the President of the United States that was in office during the Great Depression. Now, when the election of 1932 comes about, the American people need someone elected president that can pull the United States out of this Great Depression. Because we're in a world of hurt. All kinds of people are unemployed. In 1932, how many? 12 million. Nobody's got any money, no jobs, factories are closed. So it's going to be one of the most crucial elections in American history will be the election of 1932. The new president, whoever that person would be, would need to get those banks open, would need to create jobs for Americans, get the unemployment rate down, and And the man that was elected in 1932 would eventually serve as President of the United States longer than any other man in American history. Who was that? Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He will be the guy that did a great job of taking the United States of America out of depression. Now, that ends this test material, and what we're going to do is have a review Monday and test Tuesday, and then we're going to tell you how Franklin Roosevelt pulled the United States out of depression. And his administration would be forever known in American history as the New Deal. Okay, that's how we'll end our year. So I think we're about on track here, okay? All right, so Monday, review. Tuesday, test. Tuesday after the test, review for Fort Phil Kearny. Wednesday, I'll give you more details next week when we leave for Fort Phil Kearny. I think we're going to leave about 8 o'clock in the back parking lot. We'll be there all day. We'll get to Fort Phil Kearny about 10. We'll study the fort. We'll study the wagon box fight, the Fetterman fight. We'll let you climb up to the top of Pilot's Knob, which is kind of fun. And then we'll go to the Dash Inn, or whatever it's called. And is it Buffalo? You go crazy eating it, because it'll be good. Remember to bring a sack lunch, and we'll go through all this stuff. Any questions at all? Okay. I want to show you a video. Yes,
Okay,
Steve.
so for that $300, you know that we have to pay,
Yeah,
we pay it in like a check.
that's fine, yeah. If you pay in a check, write it to DC Experience. Don't write it to Warland High School, or don't write it to myself. And those are due any